Take this away. Some should. Okay. All right. Great. Yeah. So for the recording, good morning, good evening, folks. We are gathered here to discuss about the agentic AI and what it holds for all of us in the near future in the IT or in any domain, basically what we are working on in the IT industry, how the AI and the GenAI, generative AI, agentic AI is cutting across all domains, impacting all domains, and how it is shaping the world, how aggressively it is changing the landscape, and how we have to align to it, to basically adapt, survive, and grow with it, right? So that is what we gathered here to see, and we from Burak AI, we are trying to help people to align with it, learn, and adapt this. So basically, this is why we are here. So before going there, um, what are your thoughts about agentic AI? Any of you? Let's have a 5 minutes candid discussion about what you understand from AI, agentic AI, what you expect, or what do you expect to see from here, right? And what is your goal, kind of things. Just a 5 minutes chat. So we'll start with Huan. You want to just say two lines about your perspective of what's happening in the AI world and why you are here, what is your expectations, and what are your goals?
Sorry, Aaron, because I just log in now again because I'm trying to figure out what was going on with my two
Okay,
logins.
no worries. So we are just saying, we're just talking about the generative AI and the agentic AI in general, how this is shaping the world, how in the IT world or in general across all domains, how it is aggressively changing the landscape and aggressively growing, and what we need to do to adapt, to learn, and to grow with it. So, with that landscape, as I said, I am here to help you, guide through this process of learning and adapting. So, I just wanted to understand from all of you what your goal is and what you think of this generative AI or agentic AI in general, what you are expecting from this.
Okay. So for me, we need to be up to date, and we need to be we need to know how to use all the tools about technology because the technology is running so fast, especially with using the GenAI, all these robots. So I think the idea that robots will change, will replace some job, I think we're happy. But if we can stay update, doing certification, increase our knowledge every day, not every
Mhm.
day, but we need to keep learning always, especially with IT, because for now it's not easy, even though to find the first job in IT.
Right. Awesome.
But
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
yes.
Bala, what is your perspective and what is your goal and what are your expectations from this
Yeah,
session
Harun, thanks.
or in
Sure.
general training?
Yes, yes. So, I've been I've gone through the being a developer, being a manager for many years now. But
Mhm.
basically, it's on the in the probably the old stack. Now that there's a lot of discussion in the agentic AI and LLMs and development of applications on top of all these LLMs. I have not implemented or been part of any AI projects. So I want to be in a position to understand the nitty-gritty of things, be in a position to even roll up my sleeves and work if needed. But basically, I want to understand the intricates of AI, and be in a position to manage AI projects. Yeah, that's where
Sure.
I'm here. And
Awesome.
if there is any
Awesome.
certification that can be done, I would like to do that as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Sure. Okay. Um, That's 1 second.
Aaron,
Sure. Yeah.
sorry, I forgot to tell about my goal. So
Sure.
I don't know nothing about how to use GenAI or the tools because I'm
Mm-hmm.
like a entry level in that
Mm-hmm.
situation. Sometimes someone asking me, "Oh, do you know something about AI to use GenAI?"
Mm-hmm.
So I have no knowledge, and my goal is to learn something about, especially to use the GenAI here with you all.
Sure. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Um, Shailesh, just 1 minute. Oh,
Yeah, sir. So, uh, I feel that AI was born from it is the data is the basic foundation of the AI, and so if we take like alphabets, alphabets are like data, and AI is like a paragraph. So when I'm in my bachelor's, BTech in India, so one thing caught my attention from my professor saying that information is very valuable and it can be modified into many things. But I did not expect that as Sundar Pichai said that AI will be will make a big revolution as much as electricity did. So I did not expect when I'm in bachelor's when my sir said that information is gonna change the world and it is very valuable. And
okay. Yeah. Nice. So,
thank
what are your goals or expectations from this course or the session?
yes, I believe actually in Chetty sir. Uh, uh,
Mm-hmm.
so whatever he guides me, it will be a good path. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and agentic AI, I want to. I did a data analysis. I'm a data analyst in my masters. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to step ahead to learn more about AI, mainly
Mm-hmm.
agentic AI.
Awesome. Awesome. Yes, Dr. Shetty is very nice person, very knowledgeable, very. Actually, I am also student of Dr. Shetty. I am also part of his research group. I am also part of the researching some papers for publishing some journals in the AI era. So I'm also with him. I think Nagarjuna also knows we are all in the same group. Thank you, Sailesh. Nagarjuna,
Hi,
you
Aaron.
want to quickly take a minute?
Yes, sure. As per my understanding, this evolution from machine learning to artificial intelligence, and as part of artificial intelligence, we have a generative AI,
Mm-hmm.
agentic AI.
Mm-hmm.
So, which excels in different kinds of areas, especially like for text-based or natural language understanding or natural language processing,
Mm-hmm.
which gives us best way of uh, y- you know, uh, text related suggestions or whatever related to text, and it generates based on its own thinking, based on our situations and whatever the data we have given to it, and whatever the requirements we give to the artificial intelligence. That's all comes under generative AI. And coming to the artificial agentic AI, that is one or more agents working together and produce what we needed as per our requirements. That is my understanding about this artificial intelligence and generative AI. And as part of this session, I'm expecting to understand how we can best utilize this resources what we have now in a days in the internet uh, to make use of artificial intelligence for our
Awesome.
purposes,
Okay. Thank
especially.
you. Thank you, Nagarjuna. Awesome. All right. Yeah. So everybody has got very clear that AI is here. It is reshaping the world. We all need to adapt. We are all in agreement that we need to adapt. We need to learn. We need to grow with it. There is no other way. You can hate it. You can love it, but you cannot avoid it. Okay, there's no way that you can skip it. Basically, it's just like math in your basic. So when in the high school, no matter you want to become an attorney, you want to become a doctor, you want to become an engineer or a architect, whatever it is, you still have to learn the basic math, the basic science everywhere, right? And like the world has moved from paper based to computers, people were very what you call nervous of computers replacing jobs. Then we had to adapt. Now every person in the world almost uses some kind of digital device, right? Like starting with computers. Then most of it was on prem. We had software coming in, we had programs, we had computers, we had servers, client server, then everything. Then the cloud computing came, right? So again, there was a lot of skepticism that data in the cloud, security, and all of that move forward a decade. Every company, every organization is now on the some part of the cloud. So the same thing, it's gonna repeat in the AI. So AI is not a new programming language. AI is not a new device. Rather, it's a revolution. It's just like, say, internet. No matter what you are doing, it will cut across all the domains, across all industries, across, it touches all the people. Gone are the days when there were a few producers of data, uh, and so many consumers of data. Now it's the other way around. Every person produces data, and every person consumes data, right? With the internet that has come, with the data that has become cheaper, with the wi-fi networks or data sharing that has become cheaper, devices, audio video devices that has become cheaper. So everybody creates content now, and everybody consumes content. Now with the AI, it has become multifold, 1,000 times or 10,000 times more, right? So long story short, we have to be part of the AI revolution. We have to go with it, adapt, learn, and then master it and master. But maybe, yeah, be comfortable with it, learning and mastering it, and then building applications, building products, or even if it is managing products or in day to day life, right? That's what we have to be looking at going forward. Now, as you see, Mark Zuckerberg, Sundar Pichai, Sam Altman, or our uh, is that Elon Musk, uh, Satya Nadella, Andrew, Jensen Huang, all of these people, the top 7 companies who are into the AI research, AI development, or taking this AI forward, they all believe in the same thing, that AI is definitely going to reshape the world, and it is what it is, like the future. It will become every part of your software. Almost everybody says, like, it's going to replace the software engineers, but that is not actually true yet. We are very, very far away from that. At the same time, human engineers alone cannot go forward. So it has to be a combination of human plus AI. AI has to be used in complementary skills with the humans to increase productivity, or as a tool to improve the software development or anything that is coming in future. So the human plus AI is the way to go. Even IBM has agreed, even Salesforce has agreed that they have jumped the gun, that they have what you call overestimated or became overconfident of the capabilities of AI. So now the things are coming in context. They come back and they said we need people, more people. IBM is uh, day before yesterday, 2 days ago, they have declared that they're going to hire more Gen Z or more freshers um, to go along with AI, now that they have realized the limitations of the AI, what it can do, what it cannot do. So it's still at least 5 years away from where we are, that AI can something do on its own without human intervention. But nevertheless, we are here to learn and adopt. Okay, so that's what we are here. We'll come back to this later. So about me, my name is Harun Syed. I'm a Google Cloud certified GenAI leader. And then I have been doing data and AI for last 12 years, total 25 years of IT experience. I have worked with many companies, organizations. I've worked in 7 countries. I have worked with both consulting and full time in the US for companies like Cisco, NetApp, um, Nordstrom, Costco Wholesale, Apple, all of these companies. And I have implemented data analytics platforms, machine learning, and I have been part of a AI startup where we built an AI product for master data management with the Databricks platform. Right now, I'm an AI architect at a company called CBRE, Commercial Real Estate. And training is my passion. I have been doing it for the last 8 years. Initially, I used to do for Databricks, data engineering. For the last 2, 3 years, I'm doing for the Gen AI. So trained about more than 500 plus professionals, 8 batches already done for the Gen AI, and also some consulting or the company trainings also I've done. So that's briefly about my profile. Um, so what we are doing here today, the agenda, I mean, it aligns with what all you have talked about. We want to understand what we are going to learn from this. What is Gen AI? What are the industry trends? What is future? What is the curriculum and approach we do here? And a simple demo. Okay. As we all agree, this is the way to go. Now we look at what are the top skills uh, based on the article written by Andres Workers on Medium. So top 20 most mentioned skills include Python, machine learning, SQL, and AI. So the top four, almost like AI is 56%. Of course, Python and SQL are just programming languages if we keep those aside, because no matter what you do, you still have to use these two. So ML and AI go hand in hand. Basically, AI is also built on the machine learning algorithms. Earlier, it's an extension, next version. So if you look at it at the top, you have ML and AI of all the percentage of all jobs. Within the AI, if you look at top 10 AI skills, it talks about LLMs, Gen AI, NLP, RAG, AI agents, prompt engineering, LangChain, orchestration, vector database, embeddings. Just be very clear on these things, because when we go to the next slides, you will see in the course we actually teach all of these except for this NLP. Again, NLP is just very generic. It's part of all of these large language models. So except for the NLP, we teach all of these um, subjects, all of these topics: LLMs, GenAI, RAG, agents, prompt, LangChain, and much more, not just these. So you can see all of this will be in the curriculum. Now, top 10 skills baseline and current. Again, Python, SQL, if you remove that, if you look at AI itself, it was 30% last year and it's projected at 58% this year. It's how it's growing, the demand for these skills. Okay. This is absolutely necessary, both at entry level or at the senior ship level. Another study we have seen actually says people who are experienced are going to benefit more with AI. It's not like, okay, I have 10 years, 20 years of experience. Now I'm not going to get into a new field called AI and then start as a fresher. It's the wrong perspective. People with 15, 10 plus 15 years industry experience, data engineering, who have seen systems, they are more capable because they have seen all of that. And now they know how to integrate AI or adapt AI to the changing world. That's from that perspective. For the new people, fresh, new coming into the world, they have absolutely no choice. They have to start with AI because that's where it's going to be in the next generation. Without that's become the default, right? So wherever you go, you need to have SQL, you need to have one programming languages. Earlier it was Java, JavaScript, Node.js, whatever, all of these. Now Python is the most de facto language if you want to come into data science, obviously. So Python, SQL, and AI, just like AI is also will become the de facto standard that everybody should learn, adapt at least at some level. Okay. Job trends, if you see, right from LinkedIn Jobs or the World Economic Forum or Gartner IT, you say Gen AI architect growth rate is 84%, LLM prompt engineering 68%, 3.5 million new AI jobs globally by 2026. You can say, hey, at some point you're saying that AI is replacing jobs, and again you're saying 3.5 million new jobs. So AI is not jobs replaced. It's not pure solely by AI. The jobs that are redundant are going away, basically, which can be um, one due to global economic slowdown. The other, maybe the industries are cutting flap, the top five industries which they have invested in many of those uh, their programs, like say Meta has invested in the virtual world, something that they created $70 billion, and they had to close that project. So all of that is lost money. So something like that. But in the AI, there's a lot of investment that is being done. So now all the companies are moving from uh, revenue per employee model. So that is why there's a lot of restructuring that is happening. But at some point, the melting pot will happen, the equilibrium will happen, it'll get standardized. But at that point, all the only people with AI will stand in every domain. Just like earlier, you say people only with computer skills. If you don't have a computer, if you don't know how to operate a computer, a decade or 2 decades ago, you are almost like guaranteed to lose your job. So it'll come to that, right? So right now, even Walmart and a lot of companies are mandating that 20 to 30% of your daily day-to-day job has to be using AI. They have to show it, evidence that they are adapting and learning in the AI, because the companies are now looking at what is called cultural ROI, which means, are my employees adopting AI? Are my employees learning AI, learning how to use AI, benefiting from AI, improving the productivity? And as a company, are we ready when any new thing, or when a revolution happens, a new change happens, when new things come in, to adopt that and keep moving forward so that we are not left back in the race? So that's what companies are looking now at, adoption and building. Of course, there are use cases that are being built. We'll see some domains are being hugely benefited, some are, not much. We'll see why, right? Uh, and then again, top paying IT roles, AI dominates the market. We all know LLM prompt specialist may not be this relevant as prompt engineering as the last year, because uh, that domain itself has been, the focus or attention has been reduced on the prompt, since now models have become more smarter, agents have become more smarter, that they can rewrite the prompts themselves. So Gen AI engineer is at the top, solutions architect, ML engineer, cyber security, data, DevOps, cloud architect, IT project manager. So basically, it will be AI, data, AI in the sense ML and AI, data engineering, and cyber security. These will be the top three. Okay, cyber security is also going to be very important going forward, and of course, DevOps is like as usual, support. Any questions before we get into what generative AI is, and we'll quickly touch brief on all of this.
No, very good.
Okay, all right. So we all know what is generative AI. Everybody must have used ChatGPT, right? So the first thing that comes to our mind when we say Gen AI is ChatGPT. in the year 2023, when 3.5 released, everybody took the world by storm. It was shocked looking at the capabilities of ChatGPT. However, 3 years down the line, we are like much advanced in the capabilities of these models. So ChatGPT is basically a application, a chatbot, which uses a large language model to answer your questions, to give you information, or to do some tasks based on your questions. Now, it's a branch of AI that can create new content. So unlike Google search, a chat GPT or a large language model, in the Google search, when you search it, it will go and crawl the entire web, and it will give you the resources. Hey, you've asked this question. These are all the resources I found on the internet where you can probably find the information you needed for your question. Now you just click on the link, go to the resource, go to the content, read it, and find what you need. If you want to debug something, you go to Stack Overflow, you find and see somebody has posted it, you take that solution, you try it. You ask Google, it will give some links, you go there, check that code, and see if that works for you. That is just searching and giving you the resources. Generative AI, what it does is it is already consumed all of that information. It is trained on that. Now, looking at your question, it's going to generate an answer on its own. Okay. So that is your generative AI, which is generating new content such as text, images, music, and code based on input prompts. I'm sure you must have used the Ghibli trend or whatever it is on ChatGPT or other models to create images, to create music, to create video, to create audio, or you just give a text and then it can create an image, it can create an audio, it can create a video. All of that is possible by creating new content using the large language models. So unlike traditional AI models that focus on classification or prediction, that is your standard machine learning, GenAI generates new outputs using like techniques with transformers and generative adversarial networks. So these are all the algorithms that were used to train the models. We don't need to get into those much, but just to know that. Okay. What is a large language model? It is the basic driving engine, the brain, the heart of all of this generative AI is just the LLM we call large language model. It is a model trained with supervised machine learning on vast amount of text or audio, video, images, whatever, everything designed for NLP, natural language processing tasks and language generation, which means I have a model. It has been trained on all the available information of the publicly available data, any data. It can be literature, it can be source documents, images, code, GitHub, or online content pages, legal documentation, medical documentation, whatever it is available, anything that is available publicly, it has been taken and it has been trained on that. And the model learns. Now it has all that knowledge. Just think of it like a teacher who's learned everything. You can ask anything and then they give you the answer. Okay. So that's what is a large language model. That is the brain of all this generative AI. Now, as we see, for any large language model, what you do, you ask a question, which is like a prompt from our side, and then the model will go through it, understand, and generates a response. That's all it does, the large language model. Now, ChatGPT is a bit more. You have an additional layers of application built onto that. It's a chatbot basically, which is built using the large language models like GPT models that they have. What are the use cases, as I was saying, in the generative AI where it is currently being used? So basically, enterprise, software development, customer engagement, healthcare. I've only mentioned few. These are not all. Every domain is using it. But specific use cases, enterprise knowledge workers, say document summarization. I have a document of 100 pages or 40 pages. So I just want to know the summary of that. Okay. So you can just give the document to the model to go read it and then summarize it for me. Of course, we have already done summarize this, that in bullet points and whatever and all of that. Internal question and answers, RAG. So this is a chatbot we are talking about for internal employees. Let's say every company has its own internal documents like HR policies or benefits or whatever. If I want to find out something or a company calendar, holiday calendar, whatever it is, if I want to ask something or find something, normally I can reach out to HR or I write a mail or ping them, or I can go to the documents on the intranet, go through the documents, read it, and find out. Or we build an internal chatbot where you can ask questions, which has knowledge of all of these internal documents, and it can give you the answer. So those are internal Q&A chatbots, like using the RAG architecture that we will discuss and talk about in our course. AI co-pilots, analysts, and legal. So these are like co-pilots we already use as personal assistants for any research that we do using the internal documentation or the external, like let's say a legal company has 100 years of history, 50 years of history, all the cases they have worked on, or in general attorney, and they want to help file something for a new case, get evidence or get the what you call the codes from the previous cases, right? So all of that can be helped using the Copilot or the internal applications. Software development, we know we are all using to generate code generation models that are very specific, which have become more and more advanced right now, which can generate the complete code end to end and also build and deploy the applications. So we will also use these in our training, how to use the Copilot or how to use these code generation models to generate code or to help you in the day-to-day software development lifecycle. Documentation, test case generation can also be done using this. We have seen some of the Azure DevOps or these things already have embedded AI where I don't know if you all know, in the Agile you have kind of epic story cases, test cases, right, in that way. So once you define an epic and you give it to an AI and click generate, just a button, just click the button, generate the features, it will generate all the features. Go into one feature and say generate stories, it will generate all the stories for that feature. Go into any story and say generate test cases, it will generate all the test cases. So the earlier it used to take 2 weeks to do all of this. Now it can be done in half a day. Of course, you need to review and fix few things or remove few things, or sometimes it becomes a very verbose documentation you need to consent, but it needs some kind of training as to how you want to write the prompt or what you want to do. But end of the day, you still save like 60 to 80% of the time. AI chatbots, support agents, content creation. So AI chatbot support agents, customer support. This is there for decades. But how these agents or chatbots behave has been tremendously improved. Earlier, it was all rule based, like a tree branch leaf, right? So yes, no, based on your response, yes, no, it takes the next branch, asks the next question and all of that. From that to all the way now, it has become like interactive conversation with the chatbots. It can remember what you asked earlier. It remembers what it has answered. It remembers what the follow-up question is. And then it can search internally, it can search externally and get you the information, everything you need. Healthcare has been one hugely benefited from all of this, where you can see right now image comparison. Let's say in the diagnosis, you just take medical images and give it to model. It can scan through a million kind of earlier images that have been trained on, compare with it, and give you a diagnosis within seconds, within minutes. Like, hey, this looks like this looks like this. So now it has become much faster, okay, and much accurate. Okay, a doctor must have seen 1,000, 10,000 earlier, but he does not have access to the millions of similar scans that were taken, which the model has been accessing and trained on. So he can benefit from that knowledge. And then he can review, of course, the diagnosis and findings and all of that. So all of these are, some of the use cases in the AI, what we have been doing, where we are applying, of course. And I can see everywhere in your walk of life, you can still go there and then look at this. So any questions? I will take another 10-15 minutes for this to go through, and then we'll go to a demo. Okay, practical demo. Any questions? Are we good?
Are good.
Yeah. All right, great. Hello, Ratan sir. I saw you joined.
Hi, Arun. Yeah, great.
Great.
Yeah,
All right. So
I
this
didn't want to disturb you.
training course, Agentic AI, is going to be a live training course, 30 plus hours, almost like 15 sessions will be there. And then we will go through each of those topics, each of those subjects that we have seen in detail. There will be a few theory like foundation, and then it will be hands-on for each of those. We will actually create code, use models, use agents, create agents, use Copilot to generate the code, build applications, deploy, and all of that will be part of this training. Now, what we do in this 8 weeks or 15 sessions is at a high level this. Okay. Each week we have already a standard curriculum that I've been doing in the last 8 batches. Last year and a half, I've been training people. So these are all the high level topics that we go through and we cover in detail every week. So each session, one topic will be explained in one session in detail, and then we will have hands-on, and then we'll have assignments. If you go into detail, what we will do week by week. So the first week we'll talk about generative AI introduction. What are large language models? What are the categories? Basically, some models are text based. They can generate text. Some models can generate audio, some can image, some can generate video. Like if you say image, you have Imagine, you have what you call there are a lot of image generation, right? Gemini can do, ChatGPT can also do now images and all of that. Video, you have Sora, Runway ML. There are so many other specific models that can generate videos. Text, yeah, all models have generated can generate the text and all of that. Audio, Pika 11 Labs. There are several models that generate audio from this. What are the vendors and platforms? We talked about ChatGPT. So who owns ChatGPT? OpenAI, right? So OpenAI, what are the other models from OpenAI? We have Sora, we have GPT series of models. Then we have from X, we have models called Grok. We have from Google, Gemini series of models. Anthropic, we have Claude series of models, and then some other models from Anthropic. Like this, there are so many vendors, and Bedrock has Titan and other models. So every AWS. So every vendor, there are so many vendors like DeepSeek. There are so many other of them, millions of vendors who have created a lot of models. So we'll talk about few of what are the vendors, what are the platforms that we have to use these models, and different types of models. Like you have embedding generation models, and you have normal text, audio, image, video models. Then we'll talk about prompt engineering, basically how you ask a question to the model, how it responds, what is the techniques, what are the prompting techniques. Like we have zero shot, few shot, chain of thought, tree of thought. There are different techniques that you use to talk to a model. Like for every computer or every language, there is a syntax, right, that you use to interact with that system. So same thing with the large language model. The way, the technique that you use to get the best output is called a prompting. right? So it's prompt. What are the different prompting techniques that you can use, which gives you the best output from the model. And then you'll talk about different types of prompts like system prompt, user prompt, A prompt. What is a system prompt? What is user prompt? How to use that and all of it. Then we talk about different particular kind of models called embedding models, which generate embeddings. We'll talk about what are embeddings, why we need to use embeddings, where it is used, and all of that with respect to the things. Now, for building chatbots, we almost use these two things, embeddings and vector databases, which are special type of database to store the embeddings. Like normal RDBMS databases, Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL are all there to store the relational data or what you call structured and unstructured data as Mongo, like documents and all of that. But these vector databases are specialized databases which store a vector, dense vector, floating point numbers, and then it allows you to search using that vector and give you the nearest neighbors or similarity search, what we call, or semantic search, what we call, rather than the straight SQL search. So we'll talk about all of these and embeddings, vector databases, what are different vector databases and how to use. We will actually create programs using these components. 2 or 3 vector databases we will use, and then we'll introduce a architecture in the Gen AI, what we call RAG, retrieval augmented generation architecture, and we'll create that, which is used to create the chatbots. So this is the architecture. We'll talk about 2 to 3 sessions. In the first 3-4 sessions, we'll talk about this, how we build this. We'll do hands-on, build this architecture. This is the architecture for building a chatbot for any internal application where our internal documents are split into chunks, passed through embedding models, stored in the database. And when user asks a question, we search this database, get the results, and then pass it to the large language model to generate an answer. So we'll go through step by step, and we will build each component, dig deeper at each level, build components and build the chatbots. So what frameworks do we use to build chatbots? We'll use frameworks like LangChain. You should all be knowing that LangChain is the popular library, which has LangChain, LangGraph, and LangSmith components to it to build RAG chatbot. It's just a library. It gives you libraries to build, connect all of these components, what we have seen. So we will use that. And LangFlow is another framework. It's UI based, no code based, where you can drag and drop and build the same RAG architecture like this. You can drag and drop all of these components and just configure it to build the chatbot. So we will do this in each session. Then we'll do one of the Bedrock or any of the another platform to build the same RAG. Basically, building RAG in different platforms, chatbots basically, not RAGs. You can say build chatbots. Then we'll go to introduction to Agentic AI, what agent is, what are its components, how to build an agent, what does a multi-agent architecture look like, just like chatbot, right? This is a multi-agent architecture, how agents are all come together in a framework, in orchestration, how these agents orchestrate, split your overall question into smaller components, autonomously call other agents, call the tools to go connect to the resources, bring it, get all together, and then solve the problem. So we will now today look at a couple of demos, one for this architecture and one for this architecture. I'll just show you a demo. What are the platforms, frameworks, again, to build agentic AI applications? So there is Agno, LangChain, LangFlow, Crew AI, LangGraph, AutoGen. There's so many of them. We'll take few of them and we build the agentic applications with few of these frameworks, how to build the agentic AI applications. So this all will be done step by step, very clearly. Nobody has to get overwhelmed. You don't need to learn or know a lot of things earlier. A bit of Python, a bit of just data knowledge is good enough for you to start learning. And the code, the best part is the most of the code will be actually generated by the AI itself. We don't write lines, line by line code. Just give prompts, let the model generate the code, we'll run it. If it doesn't, the agent will continue to fix it, or you can go ahead and fix few things or change few things, review few things. That's it. Okay, so you need not worry or get overwhelmed about it. Very simple, step by step, we'll take you through each step. So to get, it's that you'll become expert in building all of this by end of this. As part of the life cycle, right? We all know we have requirements, we analyze, we design, we build. Once we build, there are two other things. One, we need to do test, observability, monitoring, testing, evaluation, and then deployment. So for AI also, we have some platforms to do the observability. One is tracing and monitoring that we do with Lang. There are some tools like Langsmith can do, LangWatch, LangFuse. There are a few other, even Datadog. A lot of other tools are there which can do the monitoring and tracing. So we will use Langsmith, will show the framework, how you can do the tracing, what is happening inside the agent, which model is being called, which agent is being called. And we can also look at all the metrics, how much time it is taking. We can do benchmarking, all of that. And errors, we can see what logging and everything with the observability. We'll use LangWatch to actually evaluate the model, how good it is performing, any of your application. So it's like just your test cases. You write test cases, expected action. But for the large language models, it's different. You cannot exactly write the output because they are non-deterministic. Every time you call the model, you are not guaranteed you will get the same result. You have the same input. You get the similar result, but not the same result. So how do you evaluate whether it is doing correct or not? So all of that we will do. There are different techniques, different tools available within LangWatch to do actually the evaluation to see how your model or how your application is performing. So this is part of the monitoring and evaluation and testing phase. Then we'll go into the deployment. So how do you deploy? How do you package, right, in a project, containerize it and deploy it onto the cloud and run it? And guardrails, basically, what are the security guardrails that you need to implement for the models to reduce hallucination, to make sure no jailbreaks are there, no vulnerabilities are there. So no like hidden commands are sent or language, tone, all of this you can moderate and check using the guardrails and protect. And then we'll talk about advanced topics like protocols, model context protocol from Anthropic MCP, and agent to agent protocol from Google, how these are used in the agentic applications to do. So this is the entire life cycle of building agentic applications or AI applications. This is one of the sample architecture that we will be doing as part of assignments, where we will build the application and deploy on the Google Cloud Run, where you will have chat endpoint, you can upload files, you can chat with those data, where we'll integrate with a vector database, we'll integrate with the OpenAI model, and then complete this thing will be on the, as a project, we'll have on the model. Okay. Any questions?
No.
Okay.
One question, Arun.
Sure. Yeah.
So while we are doing all of these,
Mhm.
will we be getting the instructions for installation of all these?
Yeah. Good question.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. So this is one of the application that was built by our previous students on the Cloud Run, Google Cloud. So you can just chat with it. This is the UI. You can go ahead and chat with it, ask questions, and it will respond. Built same like ChatGPT on your own, and then deploy on your own Google Cloud. It's kind of an application that we built. If you look at the code base, what this application is built on, this is all the code base that you need. But if you see here, this is the agent we have used to give prompts to build this application completely. None of this, not even a line of this, has been handwritten. But of course, You need to see what is working, what is not working, what you need to fix. Some kind of troubleshooting has been done. But long story short, end of this training, you should be able to create these kind of applications or agentic applications or chatbots and deploy it on your own. Now, you talked about the instructions to deploy, right? Most of our training, 70 to 80%, will be done on the Google Colab, which is just a notebook on the cloud. You just need a Gmail account. That's it. This is free. You just open and then you can write code and then execute it. Everything is free in this. You get the runtime, you get the CPUs, everything. You can use this to build and run. 80% of the times, all the demos, we will be using this to run. Then 20%, we will use VS Code. Yes, we'll give instructions to deploy this. There is anti-gravity. There are other IDEs, cursor and other things. And VS Code is one of them. Just the IDE to write code. And we have the Copilot installed into this, and then you can start using it. Together, we'll give instructions to build this. This is only when we get to deployment part. We'll build the project and we'll deploy the project online. So that's where we get here by this part. Now, what are other things we'll use? As I said, if you look at the keys here, most of this we'll use when I said this LangChain, Langsmith, all of this are free. We'll use the free versions, demo versions, trial accounts. Only the OpenAI, basically the OpenAI key to use the language models using API. Only that we can create an account, API account, and then put some, $5, $10 to it, or 1,000 rupees or something, and then you can use it. It's pretty cheap. Like for 1 million tokens, you will only get charged in cents. Okay, so that's not even a. Other than that, everything, most of it will be the free accounts that we will be using. So no additional installments requirements. It's all cloud. Just for every tool, you go open the website, create an account, take the key and use it. That's it. Okay. There are no other complex installations. Of course, only when I said, right, it's deployment. When it comes to deployment, you will have you need to have some containerization, some cloud, CLI, and the few advanced things, but that will be towards end of the training. By that time, you will have all this and you'll be comfortable using all of this.
Thanks, Arun. So I don't need to install any Anaconda or any of that. It's only VS Code.
Not yet. Yeah, you can just do with Google Colab right now.
And VS Code.
It is it is easier to start with.
Okay.
Later, you can use Jupyter, Anaconda, or VS Code or whatever heavy clients. But for now, lighter, this is easier because it almost gives you all the basic environment and basic libraries that you need. And installing the libraries is also easy on this, like this. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Any other questions before we get into some demos?
Sir, do you get job after finishing this course? I mean, if we put the certification on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So getting a job, it's a tricky question, right? So there's nothing in the world that is guaranteed 100%. But if you ask me the question, will it help me get a job more? It's like more chances. Yes, I would say it would increase your chances by almost 70 to 80% rather than not having AI skills. Okay. If you definitely see you will get a job, but it's not like, okay, I have done this course, I have a certification, now give me the job. You have to do some hard work. Basically, it's learning and practicing. Learning will only be 20%. Practicing is 80%. If you put your heart and soul into it, build some projects, build GitHub libraries, put your projects there, open source some applications like, it doesn't have to be very advanced or complex, right? If you just build a chatbot like this for something and then open source it, put it on LinkedIn. So you have to kind of build your profile. I have all of these skills and I can build these things. So then you sure shot get your job. That's not a big deal.
Yes.
It's all about learning and then building your profile, getting visibility.
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely I see you can get a job. There's no question why you cannot get a job. But again, it's not like, okay, I have done the course. It's not automatic. It's not autonomous extension done. Just you have done the course, you will get a job. You have to still fight it out. You have to build your resume, build your skills, build applications, practice, get visibility. Then you'll be more confident to answer interviews to get a job.
The reason I'm asking is a lot of companies asking for the experience, but I don't have any experience. Then in for 1 year, yeah. So
Yeah, so experience, it's not just AI, right? Which company does not ask experience for which skill? You show me.
yeah,
Even if you want Java, they will want anybody will look for experience, 10 years, 15 years, 7 years, or whatever. Okay, it's not just for AI. It's not just for this skill. For any skill, in fact, AI is an advantage because you cannot show any experience in the AI more than 3 years because it's not that mature enough yet, right? It's
yes,
only been in the visibility or adoption with the organizations less than 3 years. Before 3 years, nobody was doing any AI or this Gen AI stuff. Everybody was only doing some ML stuff. So this is pretty new field. So actually, the chances are better in this that because you don't find anybody with 10 years of AI experience, 7 years of age. So all the maximum you can put is 3 years, 3 to 4 years, right? So you have a better chance at AI, if you have 1 or 2 years of experience. It's as I tell you, right? Even the genuine experience, what I do in the industry is same as what I teach. Nobody is doing anything what greatly different from what we are teaching here. Building the chatbots. It looks like okay, this is we are just doing for fun, not doing for demo. But if you look at it, this is actually what is being built in the industry as well. This is what they are building. Chatbot has to be the same chatbot connecting to the same internal resources, but you have to be very fluent in the terminology and what the questions, right? What makes a chatbot better? What makes a model perform better? How do you improve accuracy? How do you improve scalability? How do you improve the uh, retrieved results or matching? So these things, if you are confident, then it is easier to get job. Okay, so we'll take some more questions at the end. Let me just go through a couple of demos. Again, this we will again do it in our training sessions. One of the sessions, quickly, as I said, you go to Google Colab. We are building a chatbot here, and then I will explain the steps which we will connect. So let's go here. Okay, so first we will install all the libraries. As I said, I'm using the LangChain framework. If you go to the chatbot architecture, right? So how do you build a chatbot? So this is the architecture. We will have documents. We will break it down into smaller parts, use an embedding model, convert it into embeddings, and store it to vector database. Then we'll retrieve the results, search against the database when you are query, get the results, pass it to the model, and this. So all of this we can just build using this notebook. So install the libraries. We are using the LangChain here, OpenAI, PyPDF. We're taking a PDF file, reading it, breaking it down into smaller parts, and storing it in the vector database. Here I'm using FICE CPU, FICE-DB as my vector database, sentence transformers as my embedding model. All of this you will learn in each topic. Okay, so no need to worry about all of that. And then once I import all the libraries, again, this is all boilerplate code you call. So I will use the OpenAI API. So this is ChatGPT. So GPT model I'm using as my LLM model. Okay. Now let me run this. Okay. Installation is done. We're running this. Now we're the setup here, OpenAI keys. So all the keys, what we will do, we'll store in Google Colab secrets here in the keys. You put the key name and the value, and using the boilerplate code, we can get it and use it here. On this. So what is the chatbot that I'm building here is I can pass any PDF file and then ask questions from that file. So right now I'm using my resume to upload, and then I can ask questions about the resume to the chatbot. Okay, so I'm using OpenAI API key setup. Now I have to get this file. So first I will upload this file here because this is temporary memory. This is the resume file here. And now I am reading this file and then chunking. So I'm splitting this into 1,000 characters, each paragraph or each chunk, each block, 1,000 characters and overlap of 200. Now process the file, read the file using the PDF loader because it is a PDF file, and then load the documents from PDF. Then I will split it using the character text splitter into smaller parts and generate embeddings using the OpenAI embeddings models. Okay. Now let's run this. See, it is processing the file. It's resume, loaded 9 pages from the PDF. It's split into 43 parts, that file, and then it is created the embeddings. Now what I'm doing, storing in the vector database. Remember, so this is embeddings, this is vector database. Next step. So once I read this, and then I will create a prompt. The question I'm going to ask the model is this: answer the question based on the following context from the document. Model I'm using is ChatGPT-1, is OpenAI GPT-4o mini. Okay, this is the model. And this is the PDF document. So this is the context results that we get from vector database. And this is the question I'm asking. And I'm giving some instructions to the model. Answer only based on this provided context, which is from this document. Sometimes it can answer from its own knowledge, but we don't want this here. So we are giving specific instructions. And this is called the system prompt. If you don't have enough information, just say so. Be specific and accurate. Keep your answers concise. So these are some of the questions, the instructions that we are passing. So we'll run this. Now our document is stored into the vector database. Then we can talk about the RAG chain, RAG architecture. We are joining all of these components. One is my retriever, where we get the results from the documents, my prompt, my LLM model, and output parser. So all of this I'll put into one chain. And then I can invoke that chain to ask. How do I ask a question? Is rag chain dot invoke. So this chain I will invoke with my question. We are running this chain with passing my question. So it will go and pass that question to all of this chain from here. Okay. So let's run this one and says the rag system is ready. Now I can ask some questions with the to the PDF. So these are some sample questions. What are some main technical skills mentioned in this resume? What companies has this person worked for? What is educational background? Certifications or achievements? What is the current role? Summarize the projects in 10 lines. Format response in bullet points. Who is the issuer of information security? Some sample questions, and we'll see when we call this, how does it respond? So once I run this, so it's asking the question, it's running through the chatbot. So now our chatbot is ready. Chatbot is responding here. So what are the technical skills? It got, say, programming languages, data integration, data architecture, AI, machine learning, data governance, cloud technologies, everything here. Which companies? It says yes, he has worked for Costco Wholesale, Nordstrom, NetApp, and Apple. Got from the thing. Let me see if I have that here. Yeah. So if you see, this is the resume that I have uploaded. And in this, if you see, this is the company Costco Wholesale. We worked for Nordstrom. I have worked for. So pretty good that it is responding. Sorry, where is this here? Yeah, it is responding with all of this. NetApp and Apple, all of this. Okay. What is the educational background? See here it says the provided context does not include any information. This is because I have not provided any education in this resume, my education details. So it is not able to find, which it said there's no information regarding this, which is pretty good, right? Certifications and achievements. So it has given all of the certifications here that was done. Probably this is not updated yet. The old resume don't have Google certification for AI, but we have Databricks AI certification, Databricks data engineer certifications, academy partner trainings, Snowflake trainings, and all of certifications and all of that. So if you go back and cross check those, you want to see, basically you have here somewhere, yeah, so the certifications. So it was able to pick up and give you all these certifications from the chatbot, from the document. Okay. And current role and company, it is not able to figure out things like this. When you see, this is where you need to tune your basically the embeddings or the chunking strategy that you are looking at. Is this good enough, my chunking strategy? And why this is not able to get the current role or company, how it is reading the PDF format. So maybe you have to change the strategy and understand to tell it how, where the current role or company is, why it is not able to understand. So these kind of things when you test, right? So you have to go back and tune your application, what it is not performing well. Summarize projects in 10 lines. Again, it has summarized something what you have done in about 10 lines using the bullet points. Information security policy. Again, there is no information for this. This is correct. That's done. So this is basically very simple chatbot. You can build in just a notebook. And again, none of this is handwritten. Everything is done by the coding by the AI. But you need to understand what is happening at what each function is doing, what is the document, what is the chunking strategy, how you are implementing, and all of that. Okay, you should be able to code this notebook for when you say write for job interviews. When you say can you do a RAG architecture? Can you build a RAG architecture? Can you build a chatbot? So you should be able to build this without AI. You can refer some boilerplate code, but you should be able to Sometimes they allow AI, sometimes they don't, but you should be able to build this hands-on in the interviews. So I have done this in one of the interviews. Okay. Now you can ask custom questions. These are all some of the functions that you write, to test this. Let me do this. You can ask a custom question. Just run this custom question here and ask any question here. So if I say, what is the weather in Dallas today like? Okay. This is the question. It says the context does not have any information about the weather in Dallas because it is only answering from the resume document. So it does not know any of that. So if I ask another question, let's say, how many years of ERP experience does this person have? And say a person has 13 years of ERP experience. So it can extract this from the document and respond you to this from 2000 to 2013, right? So this is the basic chatbot. Now think of it, how do you extend it? It can evolve into a resume screening application for the HR. You can throw at it thousands of resumes, and then you can say, hey, look at this. This is the job description. Now tell me which of these candidates are fit for this kind of job description. That is your resume screening application right there. Just you build the chatbot of that. Of course, this is very raw. You need to add some more bells and whistles and make it agentic and all of that. But the underlying concept and architecture is this, right? That's as simple as building a chatbot. But once you understand basically all of these components. Questions? Anybody?
I'm good.
All good? Okay, awesome. All right, so let's look at another demo. So this is the building a chatbot. Okay, and as I said, once you build this, you can actually build it as a project, make it containerized with Docker, and then deploy it on the cloud, and then it will become your chatbot like this. All of that is advanced that we will do later once we are comfortable building applications in the notebooks. Now, another one, let's say agentic, right? So agentic AI, what is an agent and what we build in the agentic AI? So we looked at this architecture, multi-agent architecture, where there is one supervisor agent. There will be sub-agents under that. Now, as soon as you give you a problem, a question to the agent, application, supervisor agent will take it. It will again break it down into tasks and then say each task, who are the sub-agents that can handle the task. If the task is related to internal application, like if somebody wants to know about HR information or sales information, can pass it on to this RAG agent. So whatever RAG application you have built can completely become one tool in the agentic AI. It will automatically detect and pass it to this RAG agent. You don't have to write any rules. It will do autonomously. It will know which agent it has to use. That agent will take it, and that agent will again decide which tool it has to use within that. It has to go to collection A or collection B based on if it is HR data, maybe it is collection A, it will use this tool. If it is financial data, it is in collection B, it will use this tool to get that information and pass it back. If it is something that they want to research, say, what is the stock price today? Today's stock price, then it will go use this web agent, which can go to internet and search and get results and process and send it back. If it is something that once you get these results, you want to notify in an email or Slack to the team, then it will call notification agent. It can connect and send it to internal notification to the agents. So this is all will become one agentic AI application. You can say, hey, research for this stock. Can I buy this at this price? Then the agent will break it down, go all of these, find out, figure out, and get all of the information and give you the recommendation, something like that. So similar, let's say I have a agent called, I want to build, the goal is to build a travel itinerary, travel agent, okay, travel planner agent, where you want to plan your travel, your itinerary, and I want to build a multi-agentic application. So the design is all yours. The requirement is still yours. You have to design it how you want to design the application. You have to design how many agents you need, which agent should do what should be the task. So all of that design is still with you, the human engineer. Of course, you can still use AI to come up with it, to give it a prompt, and then it can generate the uh, code for you. Here I'm using a framework called Crew AI. It's the simplest, easy to use. As I said, we will explore some of these frameworks in the training. So Crew AI is one of them. So I'm using Crew AI here. All I need to do is just install these libraries, and we are ready to go, ready to use and build the agents. Serper API key. This is basically the tool where you can go connect to the internet and search. You will give this tool to the agent to search the internet. Okay. So once you give that, you use API key, Pydantic model is okay, Serper API dev tool, and you will also use the OpenAI again for the large language model. Each agent will have a model inside it because that's the brain that is driving the agent. Okay. So once you create, install the libraries, and then you can go ahead and start creating the agents. So what agents do I need when I normally do a travel planning? So what are the things that you look for when you do a travel plan? When you want to go somewhere, what is the plan you do? What do you look for?
The airlines, the places,
Airlines. Sorry, come again. Airlines,
yeah, airlines, hotels,
hotels.
travel, any of those.
Yeah,
Prices,
airlines. And,
deals,
sorry, Shravani, what is it?
prices, flight fare and hotel fare,
Yeah,
deals,
deals.
weather.
Yeah, hotel files, deals, weather. Yes, good thing. Car rental. Normally, if you go to a new city, you need a car there, car rental. Or if you don't want hotels, you can look at Airbnb, right? So all of these things. See, what I want to do, I want to create agents to figure out what is the best thing within all of this. But then look at it, look at the problem, right? So I have a hotel agent, I have a flight agent. Now, if I run the flight agent, it gives me a best deal. You go on this day and this come back on this day, you get a best deal. It has to align with the hotel. The hotel booking should also be within that timelines. You cannot say, hey, flight is on Monday, you come back on Wednesday, hotels are cheaper on Thursday, so I'll book you a hotel on Thursday, right? So that does not work. So all of these agents will have to work in tandem together to make sure everything is aligned in the plan and give you the best deal. Correct? So that's what you need to define. So travel agents. So what are the agents I'm defining here? One is the flight agent, as you said. I need a flight specialist. What is the goal of this? To find best flight options for given travel parameters, considering price, layovers, travel time, and all of that we look at, right? What is the price? Is a direct flight, or how many hours it's taking, how many stops it has, layovers it has, how much time it is. All of that we will consider. Backstory will give you are an expert in scouring the web for optimal flight details. We are making sure that the agent understands what its role is and what it has to do and what is the information it has. The tools we are just using one search tool right now for everything, but later you can use different tools for different purposes. There is a hotel agent, same thing, hotel accommodation. It has to plan based on preferences, budget, location, and amenities. Uh, Ideal hotel stays, resorts, cozy betting deals, and all of that. Car rental agent, if you need to rent a car there. Airbnb agent, if you want to look at Airbnbs other than hotels, which one is best, and all of that. So create all of these agents. Now, once the agents are created, I need to create a task for each agent, because the agent will actually execute that task and give the results. This is where you send all your parameters from where you are flying, where you are going, what is your start date, how many days you want to go, how many people you have travelers, what is your budget, all of that you will pass in these tasks. So there is one task for flight agent, one task for hotel agent, one task for car agent, one task for Airbnb agent. So you create all of these tasks. Okay. The actual evolution on this, right now we are only doing planning, but actual evolution is when you want to give autonomous access to these agents to go ahead and actually do the booking. They can also do the booking. They can go to hotels.com. If you find a hotel, if you agree to it, it can go. If you give your card details, which I'm not sure you want to at this point of time, it can automatically complete the booking for you. Okay, reservation for you, or hotel or flight, it can book the flight ticket. So that is the next level of evolution it can do, but still not, you're still not there to trust to autonomously do everything on its own, right? There's some risk, human intervention involved, human in the loop is still involved, needed. Now, once I do these agents, I have to create a crew. Crew is basically like bringing all these agents together. Now we have create individual agents. Now we will bring all these agents together under the supervisor agent or a crew or a team lead, whatever you call it. Different frameworks will call it different, but there is one head, one kind of lead, that crew. In for that crew, you will give hey, these are all the agents within your team. These are all the tasks that these agents will run. And you want to do sequentially, you want to execute, or parallelly, or hierarchically. There are different modes you can use. And verbose, you show me what you are doing. So once this is created, now you have to execute the crew. When you execute the crew, right, you have to give some parameters, all of these parameters, because without this, it does not know what to plan for. So then you create a JSON structure, travel input. I'm going from New York to London, 7 days on this date. Let's say, let's do 2026, not 2024. And let's say 05. Two travelers, budget is $3,000. Okay. Now I'll just kick off this crew and pass all of these parameters. That's it. Now it will start executing. Now you can see what it is doing. Agent started. The first tool execution, it went search the internet. You see here, it's going to internet to search the flights from New York to London, departing on this date, 2026, 0501, returning on this for two travelers. So it gets all of this information from the net. Okay. And then it scours through this information, processes it, and try to get a final answer. So these are all the options that it has got: Virgin Atlantic, JetBlue, Expedia options, Kayak, and everything. So let's say it's the task is completed. It has given that information, got that information. Now it goes to the next one, hotel. Now it will start looking for the hotels. So it will scour all the hotels in London, based on budgets, based on availabilities and all of that. Now there is some recommendation based on for the hotels. Same thing again, it will start with car rental. It will call the next agent, car rental, to go and look through car rental for this. Now we get all the options for car rental and process through it and get the best options. Same thing for again Airbnb, it will go. It will also automatically generate the query that it has to send to search for Airbnb. So you get all the Airbnb options here. Airbnb Finder, you get all recommendations, properties, and all of that. Task completed. Then it comes to the crew. It has to bring together all of this information and build a planner for you, right? So that is what it has done. And then it says, this is the information. For your stay in London for two travelers, here is a well-matched Airbnb recommendation, unique stays, property type, and all of this. So the summary you say here, this is the 7-day trip, budget $3,000, flights, travel input, everything. And then it has also given the next steps. It says this budget is very low, so you don't have much options here. Okay. So it's recommending to increase the budget. General recommendations. If you want additional features, preferred flight times, hotel, pool, gym, and all, you can add it and then generate, add to it. So this is the basic structure of agents, creating agents, building a multi-agentic AI. All of these agents talking to each other, working in tandem to combine all the information to solve the problem for you, and give you recommendations on what you need to do. All of this. So this is what we will be building step by step, not but just with one platform, but with multiple platforms we'll use to build. One is Crew AI, the other is um, Agno framework, Langflow framework. So like this, we will use different frameworks to build the agentic AI, and of course, we'll also do all monitoring, evaluation, guardrails, MCP protocols, and the architecture deployment and all of that. Okay, so basically that's all I have today to show you. Then Ignite, it's Burak. We are all working together, collaborating in all of these academic and training areas. So feel free to ask any questions or feel free to reach out to me or Dr. Shetty, whoever you know in person for next steps and any questions or concerns you have.
Hey,
Okay.
I just have a question. Like you were talking in the previous model, you were talking about like the chat with RAG. You were
Mhm.
talking about embeddings, right? So can you please repeat that part, like the embeddings part?
So basically, Shravani, embeddings is so let's try to give you a simple answer. Okay. Normally, in a database, you store the data and you ask a question. You use a where clause, right? Say where name is equal to this, or where location is equal to this, or like this, something like that, and you get the results. You get exact match, but what happens in the world of RAG architecture or chatbots is you don't need exact results. You need semantic search because it has to understand the meaning, the context of it, right? So that context, that meaning of the sentence when you search for to get nearest neighbors. Say for example, I bought a apple. Okay. Now, what is the context? Give me the related products. If you say, should I give banana, orange, pineapple, or should I give iPhone, iPad, or some electronics?
Got
So
it. Yeah.
what is the context, right? So when
Mm.
you put that in context and store it, when you ask a question, it will also understand, hey, the person here is talking about Apple as in electronics, not Apple as in fruit. So that meaning is all stored in the embeddings. When you take complete sentence or paragraph, you convert it using a model, embedding model, which is again trained on machine learning models, to convert that complete text into an array of floating point numbers. It is just like list of 1,000 decimal point numbers in an array. That complete information is encoded, embedded in that array. That is what is called an embedding. That
You mean to
embedding,
say the context is sorry to interrupt. You mean to say the context is being embedded?
the context, the meaning, and the
Mm-hmm.
text, actually, everything
Okay. Okay.
is stored in that embedding. Now,
Okay.
when you ask that embedding, you store it in a vector database because vector databases are something that will allow you to search based on the context. It will use algorithms to find out like cosine matrix or dot product matrix or Manhattan list, square distance, these algorithms to search and find out what are the nearest neighbors or what are the closest points for your question. And then they will respond and give you the answer to that. So that is where you use embedding models. You cannot just directly store the text and search against the text. You convert into embeddings and search against the embeddings to get the nearest results. And those results, once you get, it will give 4 or 5 results. Say, for example, in the document, I asked for certifications or I asked for experience, right? ERP experience. There is nowhere in the database that says ERP experience equal to 13 years to go and search and pick up, correct? It has to understand all that information and get wherever ERP is mentioned, wherever the experience is mentioned, get all of those 4 or 5 paragraphs, then pass it to the model. The model will read all of that, understand, and then it will calculate and give you, hey, this is the 13 years of experience in ERP based on all of this information. So that is why we use embeddings and embedding models to build the chatbots, RAG architecture.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Sure. So we will go through, like, embeddings as one separate session. What are the embeddings? What is the dimension? How many dimensions you need? Smaller versus long dimension. What are the different models that have? OpenAI has 3 models for embeddings. Different providers have embedding models. Then we'll talk about vector database in a separate session, where what are the different vector databases like FastDB, Pinecone, PG Vector, VV8, a lot of this Chroma, these databases. How do we connect these? Everything will go step by step in detail. What are the algorithms? What is dot products? What is cosine matrix and all of that?
Got it. So usually, like when we pass any questions to these LLMs, like whatever you have done in the demos, if we run out of tokens, like what are the question? It has capped the tokens. What do we do? Like how can we handle that situation in general?
See, tokens are never capped out. Okay. How does the token work? Within the vector database, within it is all internal. There is no token generation or token consumption yet. Once you get the results from the vector database, let me go back and share that screen for a bit. It will be more clear. By the way, good questions. I appreciate your curiosity and questions. Awesome. So let's see here. See, until we go to the large language model here, there is no concept of tokens yet. This is all internal. You don't burn any tokens. There is no price at all. Now, what do you send to the large language model depends on what you are getting from this. That's where you said you need to tune your retriever, how many results you are getting from vector database. Are you getting too many results? Like say your chunk size is 1,000 characters and you are getting 10 results. You want to get 10 results from the vector database. 10 into 1,000 is 10,000 characters you will get. So you will send almost like close to 10,000 tokens to the model. Okay.
Right.
Now, see here, where is this retrieval? So here is each chunk is 1,000 characters. Okay. And then you are saying, I want to get 4 here. Right. So you will get 4 results, nearest results. 4 into 1,000 is 4,000 tokens you will get, characters. So almost like 3,000 to 4,000 tokens, you will send it to the model. Now, if you change this to 100, so you send like 200,000 tokens. Or if you just take it to top 2, you will only send 2,000. That's how you control the number of tokens. But again, you have to make sure when you are going to less results, are you splitting out the context? Say in the previous example, my ERP experience is spread into 4 or 5 paragraphs. Now you are only taking 2 sections out of it and passing to the model. It does not know that there is more information, so it can only say 5 years. Right? Or if you're saying too much, you're sending the entire document, it might lose context. It might skip some. So those things you have to make sure when you are tuning how much information is ideal to send. Or you can take 10 from here, but you can filter out before sending to the model. You can say re-rank your results and say, hey, in these results, only keep if there is a specific mention of ERP something in that, or if is specific mention of a number or specific mention of experience, something like that, you can re-rank it and filter it and then send the smaller context to the model. So like that, you can control your tokens.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, as I mentioned, like if we send too many, it might lose the context or it might
Context
start
loss.
hallucinating.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know, like coming from the data world, I just wanted to ask this, like, is there something like we can have it to hold it into a cache memory or something
Yes.
like that, so that I'm passing the entire data, like as you mentioned, like you had said the k equal to 4, but in my case, I wanted to send k equal to 10. Even the context is higher, I still want the LLM not to hallucinate and have it in the cache memory and produce me the result. Is that something capable of?
Yeah, caching is there, internal caching. So
Mm,
normally context windows are huge. You can still send
mm,
right now. It's not like it's small, right? It's like 128 MB of context window you can send.
mm,
If it is stateless, if it is you're saying, hey, each question is different, users are different. Unless you are having a conversation, if you want to
mm.
continue, then the window keeps getting bigger and bigger. Then it has to summarize and send it the previous conversation. Then some context is lost. But if it is one question and answer, that's done, like
Yeah.
stateless, like API
Mm,
call. Yes, you can
mm.
send as much information to it, or you can also use cache. Cache is what? Wait, model does not itself have any cache. Model is stateless. You can
Got
cache
it.
it before you send it to the model, but whatever the model response is based on the context that you are sending it. The model itself cannot have memory or cannot have cache on its own. It's stateless. It's like API, right? You cannot
Mm,
when you call an API, you cannot store the results on the server itself, on the API itself. You get the results, you cache it on your end. Next time you look into the cache and see if you can answer from the cache. If you cannot answer, then you go back, call the API. Or same thing, you can call the model here.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
got it.
caching is important. Caching is always important. Say like SQL chatbots. People are asking questions. It is generating SQL, and then that SQL is going to the database, executing, getting results. If all the you always can cache that kind of questions, not to generate the SQL again and again. If, say everybody is asking about the quarterly results, you can actually cache that question and what is the SQL generated and directly use that SQL to execute or again take the cached results and give it to them. So caching is always important part of the architecture, long term or short term.
Yes, sure, got it. Yeah. Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
thanks, Ravani. Good questions. Appreciate it. Anybody else?
Harun, one question. Will
Yes, sir.
we'll be going through the different databases just to at least see
Vector
how is the data
databases.
stored? Yeah,
Yes,
vector databases.
yes. We will explore FileDB, ChromaDB, Pinecone, and AstraDB.
Okay. And will we be changing the models? Like, can we
Yes,
change the models and see how
yes.
does this
Absolutely,
work for this LLM?
absolutely, absolutely. You should actually. You should
Okay.
work. So once you have OpenAI, as I was
Mhm.
showing you, right?
Yeah.
Um, if you see here, one second. If you see here, model
Mhm.
GPT-4o Mini, I'm using.
Okay.
You can just go to OpenAI models, and then you can just use any of this model here. Just change the name, it will work
Mhm.
because your API key is actually to the OpenAI. So you can use all the models within the OpenAI. However, the pricing will be different for each model that you are using. So some big models 5.2 will have a price higher for the tokens than a mini or nano models that charge you for tokens. If you want video models, you can use video models, all of this, but the charge will be different.
Got it. So for each of these, it'll all be one. The pricing inside that may be different, but we
Yes,
don't need to
the
have
API
different.
key is only one. Yes,
Okay.
you just need to
For
choose the
each
name
of
of
them.
the
For
model. Yeah.
GPT, there is one. For Llama, there may be another one. For
Yes, yes, yeah.
Claude,
For
maybe
each
another
vendor,
one.
yes, yeah. For Meta, you may has different one. For Anthropic, you may have different API key. But once you have the API key, you give the key and then you give which model you want to use from that vendor.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Okay. Any other questions before we wrap up? No? Good. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. As I said, you can ping me offline directly or Dr. Shetty for next steps about the training. We are actually starting this from 1st of March. That is next Sunday, first session. And from there, it will go on for about 8 weeks.
Right. So one
Okay.
last question, from my side. So once we start, all of these will be recorded, right? So
Yes,
we
yes.
can always go back.
Every session will be recorded. Every session. If you go here, if you go to the previous cohorts, right? So every session will be like this. Every session will be recorded. You will be given access. The recording will go into the YouTube playlist that you will provide access. You will have all the access. The notebooks will be shared here like this, and this drive, Google Drive, will be shared with you. So you will have access to all these kind of notebooks, what we show in the class in the demo. You will have access to all of that. Recordings you will have access. And if there are any decks that we discuss, even the decks will also be shared here like this. So all of this you will have lifetime access. Anytime you can go back, refer, watch the recording, take the notebook, download and run and see the notebook line by line, and then go to the recording and see, match it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Arun. It was great, fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Ratan, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Harold.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you
you,
all.
Arun.
Take care. Have a good day.
Thank you, Arun.
Bye.
Thank you.